right. And the more that, you know, brothers and sisters in the hood become aware of it and they unite, and the more that the politics work with the people in the hood and they unite, you know, the faster the problem will get changed. You know what I mean? It's really about unity and awareness.
It's been great to have this conversation with you guys. If I gave you 30 seconds each, what would you like to add to what we've talked about?
Man, let's just raise the awareness to all the people in the whole world. You know, it's time for a universal change. You know, not just Denver, Colorado. No, it's time for the whole world to unite and to become aware of the situation. And those who don't want to fight for peace, love, and happiness, and fight for positivity and righteousness, then, you know, they can go ahead and stay out of it. But another thing that was actually on my mind, if you don't mind me mentioning, was there's the latest McDonald's commercial that I just watched. You know, it's promoting McDonald's food. You know, their punchline is, McDonald's, I'm loving it. And they got these little kids, you know, looking all happy, talking about how great the food is, smiling, looking happy. The whole restaurant looks clean, man. Go into the restaurant for real, you're not gonna see that. And the kids that are in there eating the food, they're whining and crying to their mommy. People don't realize, they say, oh, the food's just unhealthy for you. It possibly make you get a disease when you're older. No, that food affects people's moods. It affects their attitudes. It affects their mind. The chemicals actually affect people's minds into sometimes depression, sometimes with little kids, you know, just grouchy and restless. The food doesn't just make you get sick when you're older, but it's really bad for you. So I say to that commercial man, don't false advertise.
That's awesome.
Adam?
For me, Bob, it comes down to one of our 10 key values, which is the 7th generation principle, and living on this earth so that 7 generations from now it still exists. And if we're talking about sustainability and we're talking about living on this planet hopefully forever as a race, as a species, as a group of people, it's important to think about things sustainably. And there's enough food, there's enough space, there's a way to do this. We can exist here, but only if we think about it. And we have to stop thinking locally, actually, on this way that it's just about us. There's a whole planet full of people who are dying of starvation. And social justice, food justice, which is what we're talking about, means taking care of everybody on the planet, not just us, not just the people in our white communities, but people around the world, India, Africa, people everywhere.
It starts out locally.
That's right, right. You know what I mean? We have to think about ourselves, you know, action-wise locally, but our vision has to become bigger, and we have to start thinking about this world as one world.
Soulfully said, Adam.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here, both of you. Terrance Campbell, organic urban gardener and care of the planet, and Adam Taylor, co-chair of the Green Party of Colorado, and somebody who has cared to look into and understand these issues in depth. And thank you for listening. I'm Bob Kinsey again, Green Party candidate for United States Senate in Colorado. This is Go Green. You know, I get a lot of stuff on my computer that's like news that doesn't make the news. And I often think about that stuff from the point of view of our Green Party values. How many out there of you have heard about 350.org and how they're trying to reduce the, or get commitments to reduce the particles of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere down to 350 parts per million in order to save our planet so it can continue to support life on Earth. So I got a note from Kelly Blinn, who works with 350.org, and this is a quote from that email. She said, "The truth is There is no silver bullet to stop the climate crisis. No single technological solution that can fix everything at once. We don't just need solar power or wind power or efficiency. We need all of those things and more. What we need, in a word, is diversity. Well, how about that? Green Party value, diversity. I got a very worrisome email today from Common Dreams when Louisiana residents asked marine toxicologist and community activist Riki Ott what she would do if she lived in the Gulf with children. She tells them she would leave immediately. It's that bad. We need to start talking about who's going to pay for the evacuations. Scientists talking about the kind of exposures that people are receiving who live in the Gulf area, and the fact that there's nothing you can do but get out of there. It was on Truth Out. I'm sorry, that wasn't Common Dreams, but Truth Out. I got a nifty little email from a friend of mine who lives in Palestine, an email friend, and he said, today, nearly 86,000 Palestinian students sat for the high school exam, unified matriculation exam called the Tawjiha in the occupied West Bank and Gaza. Today, the results of the exams were released and they were phenomenal. It's a noisy day of celebration for thousands of people who worked very hard and achieved good results. There was no divisions here. The unified examinations were given in Gaza and the West Bank. They were administered with the cooperation of the Ministry of Education, employees in both places without political considerations. You know, there's the two kinds of governments, one in the Gaza and one in the West Bank. But what I think about is kids growing up in the midst of violence and injustice and still working to make their lives rich and full and informed, and to be educated to do something, to be equipped to do something on the planet. And the last item I have is about the Democrats who are considering a delay in tax hikes on the wealthy for 2 years because the economic recovery is slow and they fear getting crushed in the November elections. Why would you be crushed in the November elections if you reestablished a just tax system on the wealthy bandits who have been ripping off our economy and destroying the wealth of the people? Why not tax these people in order to get our financial system in better order? Goodness gracious me. They're wimping out on that. Let them know where you stand fast. Thanks. That's the news.